Hi there, my name is Misty K. I'm gonna take you through a series of really great stretches, especially for gymnasts. Usually have very tight quads and also IT bands into their hips and hip flexors. And so we're gonna go through a series of stretches for that. And then also, really thinking about your body alignment when you're doing this. And we're gonna do some shoulder stretching as well. And working through the spine, and just, it's always really great to make sure that your spine is healthy and that the muscles that are up and down your back, that go into your shoulders and into your lower back and hips, are nice and healthy. So I'm going to take you through a series of exercises that are going to be really good for that. So a good warm-up exercises, which is also done in yoga quite a bit, is you're going to make sure that you make a box with your arms so your shoulders are directly over your wrists and your knees are directly underneath your hips. And you're going to arch up and breathe out and breathe in and arch down, and you're squeezing your shoulder blades, and you're just gonna go up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, that's a really great kind of warm-up exercise because you're working your back muscles and kind of getting your body ready for some movement. Then we're going to go into some hip stretches, so around your IT band and your hip muscles. A really great one is this stretch here. So what you want to do is you want to have your back leg straight behind you and your hips square as much as possible. And depending on how flexible you are, the more you can get your leg and your leg at a 90-degree angle, the better it's going to be. I'm a little tight in this area, so this is a really great stretch for me. And I'm not quite able to get it at a 90-degree angle, but you get into this position. And if you can lower down to the ground and just hold it. And really important to breathe in and breathe out while you're stretching, because it helps the muscles kind of relax. And a great thing that you can do with this stretch is you can actually move kind of where it feels comfortable, where you're feeling more of the stretch. You can move to this side a little bit or to that side. Just kind of feel what feels good to you. Okay, and then you just go ahead and switch. Okay, and the most important thing when you're stretching also is to make sure that you're holding the stretch long enough for it to actually do your body some good. So, same thing, come down, hold it for at least 20 seconds minimum and upwards of a minute. Okay, and you can move a little bit this way, a little bit this way. Okay. I'm going to take you through some different variations. That way you can try a few different variations that will help you with that hip tightness. So another one is just taking your leg and crossing it above your knee, okay? And then you're just going to reach down like a pike stretch, and you can actually push this leg down a little bit as you're stretching to feel a little bit more stretch. And the best thing to do is try to make your back as flat as possible and sit forward. Hold that one. And then you just do the same thing, switch and stretch forward. Okay, and you should feel that right there in your hip where your IT band comes up and attaches to your hip. And breathe in and breathe out. Okay. And then there's another version of this that you can do as well. You can lay down on your back, okay? And you're gonna, kind of same position, but you're gonna grab behind your knee and you're just gonna pull it in to your chest, to whatever feels comfortable, and just relax. And switch sides, pull it in, and relax and breathe. That's a really good one. Okay. And then let's go into a shoulder stretch activity, which is a really great one. Obviously, some people are more flexible than other people, but this is a good one for your shoulders. Thumbs up, and you want your hands about shoulder width apart, and just let your body hang down and feel the stretch. Knees should be about hip width apart, and just relax and breathe. This is a really great one that you can do on your own. I was a gymnast, had very tight shoulders, so I had to do a lot of these type of stretches for my shoulders. Now we're gonna work on the spine a little bit, because the spine is very important to make sure that all the muscles up and down your spine are nice and flexible and moving. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a 90-degree angle from our feet to our knees to our hips, and then from our knees to our hips straight up our body. We're gonna lay down on the floor, okay? Hands over top of hands, knees over top of knees. And what we're gonna do is open it up into a full twist to the back. Okay, if you need to, you can place your hand on top of your knee to just kind of keep it in place so it doesn't shift. And as you can see, I'm very tight in my shoulders. And this one is really important to just lay here in upwards of sometimes even 5 minutes is really great for this one. Where you're breathing in and breathing out. See how my arm just dropped? Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, and eventually, if I stay in this position, eventually my hand and my shoulder will all touch to the ground. And that's really giving a good stretch to the extensor muscles in my back. Come up. Okay, we're going to work on the front of our legs, which are our quads. And for gymnasts, a lot of times their quads get tight because you're doing a lot of jumping, a lot of landing, and a lot of times your quads get stronger than your hamstrings. So it's very also important not only to just stretch your hamstrings, but actually to build the muscles in your hamstrings up, in addition to what you're doing in gymnastics to try to keep that balance. So this is a really great stretch for people who are tight in the quads and even a little bit in the hips. So what you want to do is place your knee. You can do it up against a block, up against a wall, a mat, whatever you can find to create that 90-degree angle. And then you go into this lunge stretch. And once again, I'm a good example of a gymnast who's very tight in her quads. So this is definitely one that's really great to work on and increase that flexibility and make sure that your body is staying in alignment, hips facing forward. And then you just go ahead and switch it out and do the other leg. And here. And stretch. This one's even tighter than my other one. But eventually you want to be able to push it all the way forward and stretch forward. But you don't want to push it. This is just really relaxing, breathing, and just letting your body kind of release the tension. Okay? So those are really great stretches. Another great one because a lot of times also gymnasts get tight in their chest and their shoulders. And a great one for that one is just lying on the floor, okay? And just twisting your body like this. You should be able to feel the stretch in your shoulder. Okay, and then you just switch and go back the other side. Shift a little here, and then you can kind of see how I'm trying to keep my body straight, but stretching the pec and shoulder muscle of my arm. And hold it. Okay, so those are really great stretches to do. And Anytime in gymnastics, you're always thinking about alignment, okay? Shoulders on top of hips, hips on top of knees, knees on top of ankles. And same thing when you're doing handstand, shoulders on top of elbows, on top of wrists. You don't never want to be leaning forward when you're tumbling on the ground. So this is a really great alignment thing that you can do. It's not necessarily a stretch, but it's helps your back muscles, hip muscles, everything kind of just drop into place. So the key to this one is, you know, your body is straight, your knees are over top of your hips, your knees are in a 90-degree angle, and palms facing up. Because a lot of times in life we're, you know, on computers or on our phones, everything's rotating forward. So right now we're rotating backwards, okay? And this is really where you want to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and out. And this exercise should be done for at least 5 minutes, which allows time for the muscles to really kind of drop and relax. You know, they don't have gravity working against them or muscles fighting against other muscles. It's just allowing your body in the proper alignment to relax into place, which is really great for your body. And an actual exercise that's not a stretch is a wall sit. And I don't have the greatest wall to show you, but this kind of relaxing my shoulders just to kind of show you the position. But when you're doing a wall sit, you want to make sure that your toes are pointing forward, your knee is on top of your ankle, and your hip should come straight out. So you want to go to that 90-degree angle, okay? And, you know, pretend like this is a straight wall. You have a straight wall up your back. So your back should be pressing against the wall, hips turning under. So you're kind of rotating your hips so that your back is flat against the wall and holding that position. You know, you can start with 20 seconds, work your way up to 30, and then on up to a minute. But this is a really great exercise as well because it strengthens the muscles in the proper position that you want to be in. So that's kind of it as far as stretching is concerned for now. But those are some really good stretches for gymnasts. So I hope you enjoyed the video and happy stretching.